What's cracking, traders? XehrFelrose here, bringing you some Pokemon Go Battle League content. In today's video, we got the team that's been cooking in the Great League for me, shooting me about 300 elo since I picked it up a few days ago. Was mauling HomeSliceHenry in my DMs, bro, and I'm so down bad. I'm like, dude, I can't play this game. He says, bro, try this team. And so we did. And immediately a 5-0 with this team and so many other good sets thereafter. Every time I stop using this Pokemon, by the way, I just start losing. So clearly the answer is just keep running Shadow Scizor because it's that darn good. It just mauls anything that's not ready for it. It's so strong. But behind something that glassy, we have to put bulk. Azumarill is the perfect fit here. There's other things you can use. I can see any bulky water type like Jellicent also would be a perfect fit here for Scizor. Oh my god, I remember when I tried to call it Scizor, dude. Somebody told me that's how you say it. If there's any validity to that, let me know in the comments. But Azumarill is very good here, being able to deal with the fire types and the fighting types. Jellicent would also fit this bill. But in the back here, what we're going to be running is a Credilli on acid. And not just the right kind of acid, but the fast move acid. Gives it that Shadow Claw pacing move with the ability to just hit with those rock tombs. A very good safe swap if you find yourself in bad situations. But here's where I can get the people that just grab the team and leave the video. There's actually some tactics here. So we get the first battle here. And normally we're going to play this team out in a way that we're leaving Scizor in the lead to try and get some shield advantage. But if you see something bad like a Talonflame or a fire type, yeah, you're obviously going to bail out of that matchup. We go to Credilli. This is where Bullet Seed on Credilli might not be that bad to have, by the way, because I have noticed that because you have acid, you don't get to that first rock tomb against these Talonflames before they get to their moves. So if you really want to be able to have that kind of control, then I don't hate going for that instead. But generally, acid did better for me. And it's things like this, right? Now we can do super effective damage to the Jump Pluff. They have a Rock Tomb. We could just go for another Rock Tomb before they can get to a move because they give us so much energy to start off with. Maybe they just really... What are they doing being this ABA to Bastiodon, by the way? Can somebody play... I'm just like, surely they don't have Energy Ball, bro. Right? Oh, you bet they do. But it's double debuff. Thankfully, it's not doing much. It's Azumarill. It's bulky, man. That's what it's here for. Even if it had Energy Ball, we're going to be trying to make sure they don't catch the move. I wait that one turn to make sure they throw that second Fairy Wind before I tap the Ice Beam, and I'm going to be able to take it out. Now the opponent having no shields left. They have that Talonflame come in. They're getting to a move, though, aren't they? No, they're not. They threw that Brave Bird and the Fly, meaning they had zero energy to start with, and we're going to be able to get to this Ice Beam before they can get to that third Incinerate finish. They have a Morpeko. I immediately drop in the Credilli because I'm pretty sure that I can live. I'm hopeful that I can live, but I don't know that I can. I actually assume this would KO, but we're about to find out how much damage this electric Aura Wheel is going to do unless they throw a Psychic Fangs for some reason, which they don't. We live on like 2 HP, and so... yeah, I was fine, but I didn't know that at the time. But the opponent is going to be able to get a Thunder Shock down. I'm going to go for that little trick that prevents you from having that one-turn lag, because you should start doing that. It's a very good thing to know how to do. But we get the bubble through because we did that trick, and we didn't get the one-turn lag, and then we take the game. Well played. This is a 9-1 run, by the way. We cooked on stream with this team, and we get a Scizor into a Superior, which I'm like, hello, Shatter Superior, and then, oh yes, hello, of course, a Jellicent save swap, which, because I have Acid on my Credilli, is very awkward. It's not a bad matchup, but it's awkward. Night Slash, however, I'm going to get that chip damage, and I'm going to come in with my Azumarill, because I figure I can probably tank the Shadow Ball better on Azumarill than I could on Credilli. And it does force them to go for the Shadow Balls. I'm going to go for a Play Rough here, though. Or maybe an Ice Beam, depending on how low they get. Basically, I just want to keep them from getting to another Shadow Ball at this point. So we're going to go for the Play Rough here, because an Ice Beam definitely is not going to be enough to get a knockout, and try and get that move off. And so that way we can figure out, like, are they trying to go for Switch? Daddy! Yes. Oh, it's a Kadabra! Oh, no! Kadabra on Kadabra violence on the TV, but now we can go for the Ice Beam. The opponent did shield the one, and so now we're gonna go for the Ice Beam because now at this point I'm pretty sure. What's up? Yeah. That's awesome. I hope she kicks their butt. And then comes a more, Morpeko. They're playing. I think she's playing Shining Pearl on her Switch right now, and she's beating up Team Galactic. Anyway, Morpeko comes in. Credilli is the answer to this thing whenever possible, because you always can just no shield the electric Aura Wheel. And obviously then we're going to shield because we don't want to take that dark type damage. They go for the Aura Wheel. That would have definitely been enough to knock out. A boosted Morpeko is no joke, dude. And then we're going to go for this Rock Tomb, but what I need to try to do is see if I can find a way to get another move off. I'm thinking about maybe just sacking my Scizor here, but they're in electric mode, and now I realize I'm fine. This is a resisted move. We saw how much the once boosted, or the non-boosted one did. Now we see how much that did. So Credilli's IVs are just paying off today, as I'm barely living these aura wheels to I guarantee you, if I don't get this off, I lose this game. No problem. Now we should have what should be a dominant matchup here, but I don't have any way to deal any meaningful damage outside of a Night Slash and some Bullet Punch. I need to get to a second move. Opponent has enough energy for an Aerial Ace. They won't make it to a second, but I need to live this. And it's Shadow Superior. I've never played this matchup. I don't know how much it's going to do, but Scizor hangs on with 1 HP as their Superior does, but we're going to be able to make the Night Slash and take out the Superior. Good game to the opponent. My goodness, dude, that Shadow Superior had me sweating. And because one wasn't enough, we get another one, except this one's not a Shadow. So at least I know if I find myself in the same endgame scenario as last time, I'll be okay. And, yeah, Scizor kind of sucks for this team. I'm not gonna lie. Like, you kind of have to stay in with Scizor, and now my thinking is I have to figure out a way to deal with not only this, but also the Superior that is in the back that has a very good matchup into Azumarill and Credilli. So I'm having a little bit of a problem here as I'm hoping to punch down the opponent's Scizor. We go for the move at the same time. I know they're on Stone Edge, so they're likely to be able to do a lot of damage to me. The opponent does shield. I get the boost. I'm going to take this boost to the house. The opponent's not coming in with Superior at this point, so I'll get to see what else is in the back. And it's a very frail Morpeko. Apparently, everybody is running this Pokemon today. I had not seen hardly any up until this particular set of games, but because the opponent actually manually switched out that Pokemon, we're going to be able to bring our Credilli in here knowing that they cannot switch out, and we're going to be able to absorb the energy. I should be more than fine with just being able to get to this Rock Tomb here, but I actually realized that because they threw the Psychic Fangs, that they were going to get to the Aura Wheel in time. So I overfarmed to have the move, and now I'm hoping that they don't swap out and oh, we get there. They're trying to go for the farm down. Maybe they got greedy, lost track of energy, but Rock Tomb is going to do enough here. We're taking out the Morpeko, and we should be good. Except that Superior is obnoxious because it's outside. It's outside of one. Oh my goodness, bro. It's outside of an Ice Beam range. It's still outside of Ice Beam range. I was trying to catch that move on the Azumarill because I basically had a Night Slash banked almost, if I didn't already. Now they can just go for a couple of moves, so this is really awkward. I have to go for this Ice Beam here, and I'm really hoping that I can get to a move on my Scizor before they can get to a move here, because that's kind of the only way that I win. But they also can just simply load up to 2 moves. However, we did see how much the Aerial Ace would do from the Superior last game if it was a Shadow, so we can expect it to do less. Now, I expected that to KO, and I think my opponent did as well. That's why they threw back-to-back here. They were just going to try and hit the Scizor, but as soon as this happened, I don't know what happened, but this lag is like, huh? But I'm pretty sure that the Aerial Ace would not have been quite enough. It was very close, but I'm pretty sure we get to this punch down here. Either way, we take the game. Well played to the opponent. Next game, we got Scizor against another Scizor. This is not an uncommon lead, and it's very nice to know who wins CMP, because you have 2 ways to be able to beat this matchup and do something here. The opponent here tries to make a catch. It's a very good catch. Also, Drapion sucks for this team if Scizor's not on it, so I kind of have to stay in here. But the way that we play out the Scizor leads is we definitely go for the first move on CMP. See who wins CMP. That's valuable information, because now if you need to win the lead matchup, you can. I bring in a Azumarill here because they have energy stored, and I would rather absorb the the resisted energy of Crunch and Aqua Tail here on a Azumarill. But the way I play at the Scizor is after the shielding that first move, I still go for the second move. And if you farm past that second move, you can win the matchup and win switch if that's important to you. But what I like to do is I actually like to let my Scizor go if I lose CMP on the second one. Sometimes I just let it go anyway, because as soon as you do, the Azumarill can exactly get 5 bubbles in before they get to Trailblaze. Hopefully with the broken up commentary that helped. But opponent has a Lapras in the back. I have a choice to make here. I got to go for a Trailblaze. I was thinking about going for a Night Slash bait here, but I figure Credilli can probably get the job done at this point. But of course, this is going to be the one Lapras in the entire Great League that has Ice Beam, and I'm calling that because they always have Skull Bash, unless I have Credilli and I don't shield it. Come on, let's be honest here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to overfarm here. I kind of have to because I overfarmed, not realizing they were going to get to another move. They did have a lot of energy. I should have realized that. I'm going to go for the Grass Knot. No, I should have gone for the Grass Knot. I was thinking about it. Go for the Rock Tomb for the debuff here. I have a chance to potentially swap out soon, but I just wanted 2 moves back to back if I could get him, because that way I would be able to throw them and just KO that and then KO the Scizor, and that's a good game. Well played. All right, getting to the next game. Scizor is going to be up on the lead here against an Annihilate. This is not a great matchup for Scizor, but it's also equally not as great for the Annihilate because we outpaced the Night Slash. We do at least get to dictate the matchup and get the shield here early. But it's after this where it's not so easy. But I play this similarly to the opponent's Scizor leads, where I just stay in, play it out, and then try and get the farm on a Azumarill, and just hope that taking either shield advantage or being able to get that farm is going to be helpful. Opponent makes a very nice catch on a Dedenne here, by the way. And I'm not going to be able to farm any energy with Scizor, so I basically have to get straight into my Credilli, and I'm kind of glad they bring this in here, but I'm also never shielding this move. It's a play rough for sure. I'm basically going to try to see if I can get to just shy of them getting to another move. I've chickened out a little bit. They probably wouldn't have thrown for at least another few more. But I just wanted to have enough energy to be able to get a move off into the Annihilate, and we do. So we're going to be able to get to this Rock Tomb here. The opponent's still punching down. They're probably going to continue punching down, but now that we've applied this Rock Tomb debuff, we actually, like, these almost looked like they wouldn't KO me. Now I have to do the trick here. I need to absorb energy, and I'm going to just bring in Scizor in case they blind throw. They come in, of course, though, with a Credilli that I would have loved to stay in for a minute with Scizor, but the thing is, too, is that it was so low, I wasn't sure if even the double-resisted bullet seeds, man, thought there's a chance that those might end up missing. Or not missing, but like me missing a move because of it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with my Azumarill because all they have left is that Annihilate, and I'm going to stay in. Surely they rocked him the first time. I called that. Surely this time they're going to Grass Knot. Of course they do, but we do live the move, and we are going to be able to get this Ice Beam off. And now what I need to do is I need to be able to apply enough fast move damage with my Scizor before they can punch down and be able to get the win because they had the Azumarill live in the back. That was a heck of an end game. Good game. We get to cap off a nice 5-0 set. This is one that I actually recorded. Most of them I didn't record, which is why it took me so long to even make this video, because I was playing without recording, because I'm a conspiracy theorist at heart, and every time I hit the record button, I start losing. That's why you guys see me on stream lose so much too. But anyway, we're going to stay in here for just a little bit. If the Marowak throws on bad timing, as in they just throw right when they get the move and give you a free bullet punch, you can actually get both shields before they can really do anything about it, but the opponent lets this go, so we can just take the lead matchup here, and the opponent now is going to come in with a Drift Blim. Looks like it's on Astonish, so I'm not living very long here. I actually need to get out, and I'm going to go straight into my Credilli, because I do at least have Rock Tombs to threaten this thing. The opponent did shield once, so this is great. Hopefully the Rock Tomb will either pull another shield. I mean, I'm not going to shield this as an Icy Wind. I'm just going to say I'm going to try to be able to get to the Ice Beam later on Azumarill and save my shield for that moment. But the opponent now brings in a Powder Snow Alolan Sandslash that I'm thankfully just barely able to make it to the Rock Tomb here and apply some meaningful damage. And this is also going to give me a chance to get farm on a Azumarill here, because I really am going to need this energy to get to a couple of Ice Beams. So I do the trick here again. Want to minimize the chance of getting one-turn lag, and I'm just going to keep farming. The opponent's double debuffed. I'm not really worried about the drill runs. I'm more worried about Shadow Balls and Astonishes. So the opponent lets that go down as they have to, and we're going to just go for the double Ice Beam. And if they Icy Wind bait me here, which I'm full well expecting them to do, I'm actually going to no shield if I can't try to make a catch. So I'm kind of thinking about doing both. I'm going to go for the Ice Beam here on the CMP. Now it's because the opponent lets me CMP tie here that I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to shield up and throw. Had the opponent got to the move before, had they thrown the move before I did, I would have actually considered no shielding. But the opponent goes for the full send Shadow Ball, and we shield it correctly, and we win the game. Good game to the opponent. Next game up, Scizor against Credilli. You couldn't ask for a better scenario other than they stay in, which of course they don't, but the opponent brings in a Jump Pluff, so I can chip here with a Night Slash. I could also immediately come in with Credilli, shield a move, and start Rock Tombing this thing. But, I mean, either way, I still need to get to 2 moves here, so it's fine. And I'd rather just take the resisted Fairy Winds and then start throwing Rock Tombs at this thing, because a Rock Tomb will take it out, and we do in CMP here. The opponent's at the second move. They really want to get the second move off, they'll shield, but otherwise they'll just let this go, and they do, which is fine with me. They come in with their Credilli, which I am pretty sure had no energy, and came in. We're at the Rock Tomb at the same time here. Because I was one ahead, I assume that they should be at the Rock Tomb right now. Okay, so now I'm going to farm up energy. We're going to be going for no shielding here. I want to put my Scizor back on this thing. They Rock Tomb. I live. Okay, awesome. And we get to the Rock Tomb here, and that's going to be fine. So now we are going to be able to apply 2 Rock Tombs. They don't quite get the farm down, but they also decide not to shield. They're double debuffed, and I'm really thinking about a Azumarill here. But opponent immediately says, nah, I'm swapping, I'm saving this energy, and they bring in a Typhlosion. I can always live it. Thunder Punch here, not lethal for a Azumarill. We're going to be able to just now shield everything. We could really just farm down here, but I wanted to try and get a shield at least, just in case it was relevant at some point in the end game for me to have the shield off of them. I'm not really giving up very much except for a bubble, which I can just simply shield twice if I need to, or even get this thing down to like 1 HP and let Scizor come in and do a bullet punch is another thing that I could do. Now we're going to be able to get this next bubble down here. The opponent not able to get to the move because we did get these 6 turns of bubbles into their 5-turn Incinerate. That's how damage registers that 1 turn before. Normally, we're going to be able to snipe down with the Credilli with the Scizor, and that's a good game. Well played. Next game up, we got Scizor on the lead versus the Stunfisk. I still haven't figured out how to play against these things. Like, I keep thinking, yes, I should just go for the Trailblaze, or I should just go into Credilli to catch a move. And Credilli catching on 6 normally works in my favor, because they want to throw 1 before they can get CMP. But then I've had, like, just as many people who are, like, staying in and throwing on 7, so they would have to take a Trailblaze or Shield in order to get that damage off, or just keep farming. And I'm like, man, at that point, I don't know. But I need Scizor to put in some work here. We are double resisting these Fury Cutters. Maybe I could have gone for Trailblaze here. I'm not really sure which one actually does more damage. I think, does Trailblaze do more damage? Because if it does, maybe that was the right call here. But I have to shield in order to get this off. I was really kind of hoping I might get a boost. I already kind of realized, dude, I'm probably pretty hosed in this game. I need to get this farm down. Thankfully, we do. The opponent's going to have to bring in, if they bring in that little pancake, man, at least we know we can Trailblaze. And I make the mistake here of baiting. You should never, if you have this much energy, just full send the move, by the way. The opponent going for, they just go for it, man. Like, I don't understand. Like, they knew, whatever they have in the back, they know it's going to be good. And it's Drifloon. Yeah, so Trailblazing would have been really nice there. But now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try to get to 2 Ice Beams. If I can. The opponent is on Astonish. If they get to 2 Shadow Balls, like, they can't have back-to-back Shadow Balls, right? So they have to get to a Shadow Ball here. And if they get to it, then I probably just lose, because I don't think Ice Beam is going to do enough to do enough. I don't think it's going to do enough here. It's a non-Shadow Drifloon. They go full send that Shadow Ball, and now they get to another move. And at this point, I'm like, I hope this is an Icy Wind, because I might just barely live this and be able to, like, get a KO. But they had 2 Shadow Balls, so it was more than over. Good game to the opponent. Very nicely played on their part as well. Many risky calls, I think, but well done. That was the only loss of the video. We did have some 3-2, 2-3 action, had a 1-4 with this team as well. Just some really negative team comps. But for the most part, whenever I've been given like a level playing field to just play a game out, its team has been very solid. Just being able to leverage energy and things like that. Now, this opponent brings in a Dunsparce. I'm going to farm up just a ton of energy on Scizor and bring in my Credilli. This Credilli can comfortably take these Drill Run, roll out combo for days. Man, I was gonna say Rock Slide, but it's like, wait, this thing is only throwing Drill Runs at me. By the way, if you are the Dunsparce player, you do want to be throwing Drill Run. This opponent is, but so I've seen some that have just thrown Rock Slide at me. I don't know if you're trying to get me on a catch, but in any case, usually when both are neutral or resistant or whatever, they're the same, you want to be throwing the Drill Run to slightly more damage, in case you didn't know that. I didn't know that for a while, to be honest with you. Opponent going to be getting another move off, but this Rock Tomb is going to prevent it from getting a knockout. We're going to be able to get one more Rock Tomb in here, and I'm going to be able to flip Switch Advantage and see if I need it, or if the opponent really wants it, they can shield this thing, which they do not. And now I have a Azumarill on the Golurk. Opponent brings in the Golurk. I do the trick here to make sure I get this bubble through, and they're going to go ahead and have to either farm up, throw energy, I don't know, but they're going to come in with a Furret. I'm like, man, I don't know about this. I have to let the first one go there, even if they don't Trailblaze, even if it's a Swift Bait or anything. They always Trailblaze here, especially knowing that I'm probably not going to shield it. Their attack goes up, so now I'm forced to shield the next move. That's the most likely time they're going to throw Swift at me. But I'm going to fall for it anyway, even if they do, because I'm shielding this, because if they do land this next Trailblaze and it's boosted, I'm probably not going to be able to recover from that. They do full send the Trailblaze, which is nice, but unfortunately, I need to get this thing down into like a range where Scizor can Night Slash the rest of this team. Now, thankfully, them not shielding this here allows me to swap in Scizor, get their final shield regardless of what happens, because I'm either taking out the Furret and the Golurk comes back in, or the opponent shields this and then their Furret or Golurk is gone. So now the opponent no longer has any Pokemon remaining other than this low health Golurk, and we're going to be able to go and bubble down. The opponent throws one Mud Slap. If this is a Dynamic Punch, if this is Shadow Punch, what is it? It's going to be a Shadow Punch, barely not enough. That Azumarill IVs are kicking in, bro. I was like, this is a Shadow Punch for sure, but that's not going to be enough. Thankfully, because that Azumarill is the bulky boy. Now we have a really nice lead matchup that the opponent's on Bug Bite, which it looks like they are. It's not an amazing matchup because they can still hit you pretty decently with Sand Tombs, and Rock Tombs obviously don't feel good. And this is just the very bulky Bug Steel versus the non-bulky Bug Steel. And you can see that these double resisted? I think it's double resisted. These double resisted Bug Bites are keeping pace. Okay. These double resisted Bug Bites are keeping pace with my single resisted punches. Now the opponent brings in a Drifblim, and this thing is now all over my screen. I've seen I saw a bunch of more Peckos. Those were awkward enough. Now we're seeing a bunch of Drifblims. I'm gonna bring in my Cordilli here. I know I'm gonna have to eat an Icy Wind, but the opponent also gets to that move long before I do. The Azumarill's not an easy thing to bring in here either. There's really maybe Azumarill was the right answer. Maybe it was. I'm just trying to get rid of this thing at this point. If I can get all shields down, I know that my Azumarill can deal with the Drifblim. But also, if the opponent tries to farm down, I might be able to get to a move. They do decide to throw energy, which is nice for me. But this isn't easy by any means. But we do have shield advantage, so we do have them well within Ice Beam range at this point as well. Opponent is going to be farming up energy. I'm going to be going for a swap to catch the move, but the opponent is going to be able to make a nice swap and catch of their own. But the Fortress unable to get to a move. Thankfully, now I'm not going to get debuffed. They have their last Pokemon and the Drifblim. Let's see what they decide to bring in here. I expect the Drifblim to come in and Icy Wind me right away because they are I am on my last Pokemon. It just feels so obvious that I just don't. I'm like, no. So I'm going to overfarm by a little bit more. Just one more bubble. I don't remember how much energy they had. I don't want to risk it. And I'm going to go get this Ice Beam off, and then whatever's in the back, I'm just praying that I can deal with it with a Azumarill, and it looks like it's possible. They're on 2 Mud Slaps right now. They need 7 to get to the back-to-back. We need 5 more to get to our Ice Beam, which means we should CMP tie them on the back-to-back, which means we just shield once, and we win the game. We're going to be able to do just that. We're going to go for this just enough. If they had one move head start, or I was behind, or didn't overfarm that one bubble, I lose this game, which is incredibly crazy just to think about. But always try to overfarm whenever you can. If you think you can, it will always make a difference. And that's one of those games where that one just did for me. 4-1, 9-1 set to get up to my new season high at 2689. This team is really worth it. I promise you, if you have this team, you should at least try it. It's so good. Let me know in the comments, though, if you've been cooking with something else. I'm sad we're not going to see Great League for a couple weeks. I got to try and cook in another league. This has been working for me. I'm scared. Hug me in the chat, man. Tell me it's going to be okay. I'll see you guys in the next video. As always, thank you very much. Bye-bye.